Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross from PTCGRadio, and we're back with round 3 of the tournament that I played using the rules of the 2014 Professor Cup. Now, I've already popped up a video showing you the format in all its glory and the main cards. You've already seen me win my first 2 rounds, and here I am playing against the lovely Ben Rollerson, a lovely chap who I very much enjoyed playing against. You see me on the left mulliganing, and you see my friend Ben on the right mulliganing as well. You will also notice a Solrock and a Lunatone sitting there at the side of the thing. There was a raffle before this round, and both myself and Ben missed out on the top prizes, but we each got a pack, which wasn't too bad. And in my pack, I pulled Lunatone, and in Ben's pack, he pulled Solrock, all the other way round, which I thought might have been a bit of a sign that Solrock Lunatone was the play for this particular game. So remember that there will be random rules thrown out at the kind of behest of the tournament organiser. The lovely Glenn from Sutton Coldfield, he will be chucking out random rules as we go through this game. And as always, I will let you know which rules are coming up, and I'll let you know when they come up. For the time being, you can see that we're both starting there and drawing our prizes. And after mulliganing, we both now have a basic, which is lovely. Remember, of course, we're playing 30-card decks. That means 3 prizes. That means 2 copies of each particular card in a deck at the maximum. So I start double Solrock, which is a pretty good start for me, although I do need a Lunatone on the bench. And Ben starts with a Bergmite, which, of course, we all know evolves into Avalugg at this particular time. Now, Avalugg is a bit of a pain, essentially, because what Avalugg does is heals lots of energy. Heals lots of damage and stops a bunch of damage and really just sits there and tanks. He does a lot more damage than me, so with my Solrock Lunatone deck, I'm going to try and just deprive him of energy and keep hitting him for 40. You see, I use a Pokemon fan club there to get a couple of Lunatones on the bench, and I now have all of my Pokemon out. But somehow, despite playing 8 energy in a 30-card deck, that's the equivalent of 16 in a regular deck, I see no energy. Bit of a pain, what can you do? So he's going to get a Ponyta down there. Now, Rapidash is not a Pokemon which I actually examined in my video introducing you to the Professor Cup. And honestly, the only good thing about Rapidash is its free retreat. I don't think it's even as good as something like Diggersby or Ledian, which were the other kind of Pokemon to watch. It's not a particularly good Pokemon, truth be told, off the top of my head. I can't quite remember what it does. But you see, he's using a Great Ball there, and he's getting out a Furfrou. Now, in my video, my deck analysis, in my analysis of the Professor Cup format, I showed you the Holo Furfrou, which obviously is not an uncommon and cannot be used in this format. That is very silly of me. He's using a different Furfrou, which I again didn't look at in my video because I don't consider it to be a good Pokemon worthy of inclusion. If Ben's going to win this game, he's going to do so with his Avalugg. It's as simple as that. Now, you'll see he makes a very clever play here. He drops a Lysandre. What that does is pull my Lunatone active. Now, Lunatone's only got a retreat cost of 1, but that's not the end of the world. But it means I cannot attack with Solrock this turn. Now, he uses Bergmite's knock-off ability, which is absolutely key here, because he gets to discard one of my Team Flare Grunts. That would have been the card that I top-decked the following turn. I would then be able to use that Team Flare Grunt to knock the energy off of his Bergmite. As it is, all he needs is an Avalugg DCE next turn, and he's rolling. So I hit my roller skates, and unlike in round 1, I finally hit some heads, and I finally hit an energy. But all I'm going to be able to do with Solrock here is use Collect. That will draw me 2 cards from my deck, and then hopefully next turn I can retreat to my Solrock and start doing some damage. The problem is, Avalugg is a 130 HP beast that does 40 damage for free energy, and blocks 20 damage the following turn, meaning I'll be doing a whopping 20. And you see there he's got the Avalugg and he's got the DCE. At this stage, I need a Team Flare Grunt next turn to get rid of his DCE. And I really need to be going Team Flare Grunt turn after turn. It's very, very difficult doing 40 a turn to knock out 130 HP Avalugg. The only way to really do so is to be doing that 40 a turn, or 60 with a muscle band, but be doing it in such a situation as he's got no energy. It needs to be Team Flare Grunt, Power Pad, etc. Now you'll see the first thing that's happening here, it is that it has been announced that we can heal 30 damage from each of our active Pokemon. However, neither myself nor Ben has actually done any damage here, so it's pretty much a moot point. We could have healed 30 damage from our active if our actives had any damage on, but we didn't. So Ben is using his own Pokemon fan club here to search for his second Bergmite. Remember, in a 30 card format, he's only going to have those 2 Bergmites. There will be no other Bergmites from him this turn, unless he somehow pulls a Sacred Ash after the first one has been knocked out. And it looks as though, unless I'm mistaken, he's actually only gone for the Bergmite there, because both the Ponyta and the Furfrou were on the bench the previous turn. So now he's doing that 40 damage, and he's off. If I can get a Team Flare Grunt this turn, he's still going to have an opportunity to reattach the double colourless energy that I would inevitably get rid of. So what I'm going to do here is attach a second energy, so that I can do, and a muscle band, so that I can do Lunatone's attack. Now Lunatone's attack does, I believe, 20 damage, and blocks 20 the following turn, kind of similar to Avalugg, but with slightly less damage. Although actually, I suppose with a muscle band, it turns into the same attack as Avalugg. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't need those 2 Lunatones, so I'm going to save my Solrocks, and I'm going to get some attacking with Lunatone while I can, and then I'm going to attack with my Solrocks. So I drop a Lysandre to drag his Bergmite active, with the hopes I can get the KO on Bergmite, and then I can get the KO on a couple of others. Trying to basically kill around the Avalugg. And the Power Pad there, I get my Team Flare Grunt back because I'm going to need that, and I also get my Lysandre back because I'm going to need that as well. So I do 40 damage, leaving him with 30 left, meaning I can get the KO next turn if he doesn't evolve him, and I buy myself a little bit of time. Unfortunately, he does evolve, and not only that, but he also evolves a Ponyta on the bench to a Rapidash. So this is disconcerting for me. Now, if I were Ben here, and I'm not, but if I were Ben, I would just be wanting to pile energy onto my Avalugg. If I remember correctly, Furfrou's got a retreat cost of 1, so maybe put a single energy on Furfrou. Rapidash has free retreat, and I'm doing a maximum of 80 damage per turn, and that's if I get free energy and a muscle band on my Solrock. But you'll see there that as well as him having time to get set up, I'm buying myself a bit of time here. I'm buying myself time to get some energy on my Solrock, so hopefully by the time his Avalugg goes down, I'm going to have free energy on my Solrock. Now, if you're wondering why we turned our prizes over there has been a second ruling given in this game, and that is that all prize cards will be turned up, as if a town map has been played. And you'll see that he has a Ponyta and a Furfrou prized, which of course explains why he only got 2 Pokemon with Pokemon Fan Club. Presumably he's playing 2 Bergmite, 2 Furfrou, 2 Ponyta, and with 4 basics out and 2 in the prizes, there were no other basics to get with Pokemon Fan Club. But to be honest, look, and you see there he's done, as I suggested, he's put 1 energy on Furfrou. Now, I can, with a Solrock and a muscle band, KO the Furfrou. I believe it's got 90 HP and a weak to fighting, so I'm not even going to KO it with Lunatone and Lysandre. So I can kill the Furfrou, but the maximum I can do is 80. The Rapidash has got 90. So even if I take down this Avalugg, and even if I Lysandre up the Furfrou, I will then have to twice Lysandre the Rapidash in order to get the KO, because he's going to have free retreat, and that's not looking likely. Bearing in mind that his Avalugg has 130 HP and is entirely undamaged, and if he puts a 4th energy onto the Avalugg, he could be doing 90 HP a turn and 1-hit KOing Solrock or Lunatone, i.e. he wins the game in 3 turns. Now he is putting some energy onto his Rapidash. I forget the attack, but trust me, ladies and gentlemen, it's not very good. But regardless here, I can get the first prize. But it's very, very hollow, though. If we look at the board states here, I haven't actually managed to get a second energy onto my Solrock yet, which is somewhat distressing given the vast amount that I play. He's going to put up his Ponyta just because it's got free retreat. But here, essentially, I know that my chances of taking down that Avalugg are very, very slim, especially as I don't yet have even 2 energy on the Solrock. And Ben has realised that as well. He knows how long it's going to take me to take down the Avalugg, and to stop any Team Flare Grunt fun time, he is going to put an energy onto his Avalugg so he can do 90. He's then going to Lysandra up my Solrock and kill that, because it's by... if I get enough energy on that Solrock, I can 2-hit KO his Avalugg. Now, that's very unlikely, but he doesn't want to take any chances. So he's going to Lysandra up the Solrock, and he's going to get the KO. At this stage here, I'm staying in the game. I'm looking for ways around it. But essentially, my deck relies on 1 energy attackers for moderate damage, while knocking energy off with Team Flare Grunt and recycling Team Flare Grunt with Power Pad. You will notice that I've yet to drop a single Team Flare Grunt in this game. I haven't had the one. The closest I got was the one that got discarded by the Bergmite on Ben's first or second turn of the game. I think first turn of the game, so I think he went second. And although I have since Power Padded that back into my deck, I'm not drawing into it, and truth be told, it's not seeming that great. So I'm just kind of looking through, I'm trying to decide what I can do. I really need an energy here to go on my Solrock to kind of desperately hope I can get that second attack off. Although, as we know, Ben's doing 90 damage per turn with Avalugg's second attack. As a side note, that second attack also discards any stadium that's in play at the time, but truth be told, I don't think that's really going to be an issue at this stage. I know I don't play any stadiums, and you'll notice that in my tournament breakdown, looking at the rules of this particular format, I didn't mention any stadiums. Now there are a couple. There's Fairy Garden, which allows you free retreat if you've got fairy energy attached, and there's the magnetic one that takes away resistance. But truth be told, I mean, I suppose that one could help for my deck specifically against a Dodrio, which has resistance to fighting. But even then, I think we're kind of clutching at straws. Now, I seem to be taking an inordinate amount of time to actually do anything here. I am playing pretty slowly, which isn't usually like me. However, I pretty much know that I'm boned at this stage. Now, what I'm going to do here is play a Lysandra, and I'm going to grab up his Furfrou, and I'm going to do 80 damage. Because I'm doing 20 damage, and then I'm doing another 20 due to the muscle band, times 2 for the weakness does 80. But the Furfrou's got 90 HP, so that doesn't actually do anything. Although I suppose it stops me getting 20 next turn. Now, in theory, I can keep trying to recycle the Lysandras, but honestly, I don't, at this stage I would have to kind of Lysandra up the Furfrou again and the Rapidash twice in order to get any kind of win here. Now, a third fancy ruling has been given here, and that is that both active Pokemon get 20 damage put on them. And if you were paying attention a second ago, Furfrou only had 10 damage left. So actually, that ruling has helped me out massively here, in that Furfrou has just been killed. I'm down to 1 prize. Unfortunately, it's also put my Lunatone in KO range from Avalugg's first attack, which is now doing 60, which is reduced to 40, given my previous attack that reduces 20. And actually, the 20 was irrelevant, because he'd have done 40 to add to the 40 on there to add up to 80. Because essentially his muscle band is counteracting the 20 damage which is removed as a secondary effect of Lunatone's attack. So my Lunatone's going to go down here, and I'm essentially going to do 40 damage with Solrock, and then he's going to KO my Solrock, and he's going to win the game. I'm carrying on like a trooper. I'm trying to find a way to win, but honestly here, you can see as well as I can that the situation is entirely hopeless. We are both going to go down to a single prize each here, But the difference is, he's got an Avalugg which can do 110 damage straight off the bat, and I've got a Solrock which can do 40. He's got 100 HP, and I've got 80. So I put the second energy on there, not that it's going to do any bloomin' good, but I try. I'm going to use the Startling Megaphone to get rid of his muscle band, so he's now only doing 10 more damage than I've got HP, rather than 30. But essentially, like I've said, what this is really coming down to here is, can I draw my Team Flare Grunts and get rid of his energy before he gets his Avalugg up and killing me? And the answer is no. And I know that, and I concede the game, because there's no way I'm going to win here. My only hope was to continually draw the Team Flare Grunts, try and make sure that I can get his energy off, and basically run him out of energy while doing 40 damage per turn. Now, if I do that, he can actually switch to a Bergmite plan, where he basically gets Bergmite out and just tries to deck me out. Now, I'd be too hitting Bergmite with Solrock, but if he puts a Muscle Band on there, and I don't get my... Excuse me, if he puts a Hardsham on there and I don't get my Muscle Band, that could potentially work. Regardless, this game really comes down to, can I start Solrock and be attacking on my first turn? Can I get Team Flare Grunt? And the answer was no, essentially. I whiffed the energy, he Lysandred the Solrock, and I didn't hit the Team Flare Grunt. Unless I get a blinding start, I'm probably going to lose to Avalugg. So you know the deal by now, ladies and gentlemen. Like if you liked this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned, because this was round 3 of my Professor Cup Rules tournament, and very shortly, going up, will be round 4. Stay tuned.